Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the continuation of the Montgomery County Council meeting. This afternoon, we have a number of public hearings. Our first is item 12th on our agenda is a public hearing on Bill 4-25, Administration, Surveillance Technology, Acquisition, and Use by the County. This bill would require the submission of impact reports and the adoption of regulations prior to the acquisition, funding, or use by the county of certain surveillance technology. Limit the acquisition and use of facial recognition technology by the county consistent with state law, require annual reports and public hearings regarding surveillance technology, and generally amend the law regarding the acquisition, funding, and use of surveillance technology by the county. A joint government operations and fiscal policy and public safety committee work session will be scheduled at a later date. Those wishing to submit material for the council's consideration should do so by the close of business on March 27th, 2025. There are no registered speakers for this hearing. This public hearing is now closed. We will move on to item 13, which is a public hearing on Bill 5-25, demolition tax for affordable housing production. This bill would establish an excise tax on certain demolitions and renovations of single-family homes, specify the uses of tax revenues for affordable housing initiatives, and generally amend the law concerning taxation. A joint government operations and fiscal policy committee and planning and housing and parks committee work session will be scheduled at a later date. Those wishing to submit material for the council's consideration should do so by the close of business on March 27th, 2025. As a reminder of our public hearing testimony guidelines, your comments must be limited to issues relevant to the public hearing topic for which you are testifying and are appropriate for a public meeting. You will hear a tone when your time is up, and we appreciate everyone abiding by their allotted time. We have 7 speakers, all here in person, so I will call you down. First, we have Rohit Khanna, Hillary Schwab, Ebony Cox, Julie Greenberg, Antonio Francis, Mimi Brodsky-Kress, and Eden Aaron. All right, Mr. Khanna, you may start when you're ready.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. My name is Rohit Khanna. I'm a member of the Somerset Town Council. I am testifying in support of the bill because it addresses the 2 primary forces driving the housing affordability challenge. First, in many metro areas, including in the Washington region, growing income inequality creates unequal competition for housing. Wages for the top 25% have risen faster than housing prices. Meanwhile, housing costs are increasing for the bottom 50%. This mismatch between the distribution of incomes and the distribution of housing prices results in pervasive shortages for low-income households. Second, the investors that fund the production of housing are increasingly institutional investors: Wall Street banks, hedge funds, sovereign wealth funds, and real estate investment trusts. These investors have created a highly financialized and speculative housing system which has boosted land values and pushed developers to focus on projects with ever larger profit margins. Therefore, new housing supply tends to cater to higher income groups, worsening the crisis in affordability for lower income earners. Furthermore, the rate at which developers respond to new building incentives is just slow enough so that they do not undermine the expected returns. Fortunately, Montgomery County already has an alternative to solve these problems: the Housing Production Fund, which uses a very efficient model to finance and develop publicly owned, self-sustaining, mixed income, good quality, and permanently affordable housing. I commend the Council for considering a dedicated funding stream for the HPF. A robust public option for affordable and workforce housing is essential, just as it is for other social goods such as education and health. However, the revenue generated from the demolition tax will be insufficient to meet the scale of the challenge. The county, therefore, could raise its ambition on mixed-income social housing. I hope that in the upcoming budget deliberations, the Council will consider sufficient annual appropriations supplemented by revenues from the demolition tax for the HPF to deliver 1,000 additional affordable units of all types each year. Given the leverage capacity of the HPF and its revolving nature, this would be the most cost-effective public investment in affordable housing. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Ms. Swab.
I want to thank the County Council for holding this public hearing about Council Member Mink and Council Vice President Jawando's legislation that would establish an excise tax on teardowns of old houses that are being replaced with larger houses. I support this legislation. I think that affordable housing is an incredible, important issue for this county. But I also would like to remind the County Council that Councilmember Glass in 2019 had a very similar legislation, only the fee or the excise tax would be split between the Housing Development and MCPS. As we know that MCPS is facing some financial issues, and we also know that right now the federal government is looking to cut funding across education. You can see the demand for new builds in the Wildwood and Ashburn community that has not dropped off. But with the new builds comes a very public cost. Many of the older homes that are being torn down do not have school-age children living in them and have not for a long time. And these houses pay no impact tax because impact taxes weren't imposed until the 1980s. In 2019, the Maryland Building Industry President noted that impact taxes were created in the 1980s. Additionally, as the Maryland building industry also correctly observed, that new impact taxes only apply to new homes on vacant lots. So these teardowns have essentially paid no impact tax. But if you walk the Ashburn and Walter Johnson service area, you can see how teardowns have not only continued to increase the population of these schools in the WJ cluster, but have attributed to the outsized demand in those schools. A constant talking point I hear is that only new development on new plots, such as Amelin, are driving school enrollment. That is a falsehood. The Ashburn Elementary School population pushed 900 students prior to the development of Amelin, and we are back there again. It is clear that not just new development of new homes are driving the population, but the attractiveness of newer homes replacing older homes that have ultimately paid no school impact taxes. This is why it is critical that the County Council not only pass this legislation, but amend it so the fee is shared with MCPS. The County Council can end their addiction to giving money away to developers and begin to make common sense changes to impact fees that will not only provide MCPS more financial stability, but stop promoting the false narrative that you have to choose between funding important public goals such as affordable housing or public education and spurring development through tax giveaways. If you have any doubt about the impact of teardowns in neighborhoods, I invite you all to walk our neighborhood with me so you can see just how much money the County Council has lost, and this county has lost by delaying the passage of Councilman Glass's legislation in 2019, and will continue to lose by not passing common sense legislation like this one.
Thank you, Ms. Bob. Ms. Cox. Okay. Ebony Cox? No? Okay. Julie Greenberg. All right. Well, if she gets here before we finish, thank you. Julie Greenberg.
Hi, I'm Julie Greenberg. I'm a 35-year resident of the town of Somerset and a voter who has never missed a county election, but who has also never testified on any issue before the council. My testimony in support of this bill has two major points. First point, the county's housing production fund is a resounding success in producing affordable housing and doing so in a way that serves important community values. It deserves to be publicized and celebrated much more than it has been. It also deserves as much additional funding as can be raised responsibly, given the economic climate of the county, and used productively as determined by the Housing Opportunities Commission. Councilmember Mink's proposed bill to establish an excise tax of $20,000 on the demolition of single-family homes to generate an additional infusion of funding for the HPF is a plan with inherent logic of tax the elimination of housing to promote the production of replacement housing with a burden that falls appropriately on those who are demolishing housing. It also has the additional merit of the production of replacement housing that is expansive and furthers community values. My second point, I have found that even county residents who count housing issues as their foremost concern are completely ignorant of the HPF. Why is this the case? Even as the county council has engaged in intense public outreach on housing initiatives that deal with the issue of housing production and affordability. My understanding is that the Housing Production Fund has figured in no way in these initiatives and has figured in no way in council consideration for the last 6 years, even as housing production and affordability problems steadily worsened. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I rely on evidence, and the evidence suggests that the council is being unduly swayed by the interest of private housing developers and has deliberately skirted discussion that would promote the public production of housing. I ask you to stop doing the public a disservice by sidelining and minimizing the potential value of the HPF and instead promote it as a remarkable Montgomery County achievement. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And next we have Antonio Francis.
Thank you. Good afternoon, members of Montgomery County Council. My name is Antonio Francis, owner of Francis Development. I'm a chair of MBIA's Custom Home Builder Council of Montgomery County. In addition to representing our group's opposition to Bill 525, I would like to share my personal views as a small business owner based in downtown Silver Spring on Silver Spring Avenue. My business is hyper-local. As a business deeply rooted in Montgomery County, we primarily conduct our operations within the county. Our commitment to the local economy is demonstrated through our engagement with over 90-plus trade partners for every home that we build. These trade partners and vendors for each new home that we build are mostly residents of Montgomery County and contribute to the economic stability and growth of our community. I do understand the increased need for revenue in the county. However, I'm concerned that this proposed tax may have unintended adverse effects. The initial intent of generating more revenue might be compromised by the following considerations. Decrease in demo permits. Over the past couple of years, there has been a significant 50% plus decrease in demo permits issued. This trend has been driven by the escalating cost of capital, materials, labor, and recently increased transfer and recordation taxes. The addition of a $20,000 demolition tax will further reduce this number. If this bill is adopted, I foresee new construction activities being concentrated in more affluent areas of the county, leaving other regions financially disadvantaged. This concentration of development contradicts the equitable growth and development goals of this council. It is crucial to foster balanced growth through the county to ensure that all communities benefit from new construction and redevelopment efforts. Areas such as Silver Spring, North Kensington, Whedon, Rockville, and others will not as easily be able to absorb a $20,000 tax. Lastly, the proposed tax may inadvertently encourage homeowners to work around parts of existing homes to avoid the tax, leading to less than desirable outcomes for new occupants. By patching up older structures instead of opting for complete rebuilds, the overall quality and safety of housing could be compromised. This approach does not align with the long-term vision of creating sustainable and high-quality living environments for our residents. In conclusion, while the intent of a proposed $20,000 demolition tax is to generate additional revenue for Montgomery County, I believe it may result in unintended consequences that could hinder development, disproportionately impact aging communities, and encourage suboptimal housing solutions. I urge the council to consider these potential ramifications and seek alternative solutions that support balanced growth and economic stability for all parts of the county. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you. Ms. Kress?
Thank you, council members. My name is Mimi Brodsky-Kress. I am a lifelong resident of Montgomery County and MCPS graduate, residential home builder for almost 40 years, and a very active community nonprofit leader. I am deeply concerned about the excessive tax on housing. The idea that the cost of a demolition permit would go from several $100s instantly to $20,000 seems ludicrous. It feels like another new tax on housing on top of the increased recordation taxes recently, and could possibly ruin the already difficult market for infill builders. The county and state are both facing budget shortfalls and possibly a recession. And as we know, there is a significant shortage in housing of all types and all price points. We cannot afford to worsen the current housing shortage, but I fear this demolition tax will do that. It is not in keeping with the needs of our community for new and equitable housing, and it is ultimately passed along to every new homeowner who builds on a property that has a house to be demolished. As was said, the number of homes being demolished in Montgomery County is drastically down from pre-pandemic numbers, basically half the amount. So already the county is feeling the effects of fewer new homes being built on tear-down properties, less transfer and recordation tax, and less real estate taxes. The amount of increased real estate the county collects in perpetuity on a new home is a huge amount. And if we are building less new homes, you are losing a very large revenue stream. And I know you've been provided with data that shows the enormous revenue benefits of new homes in our county. And the ripple effect of decreased building is not just less housing of all types and lower revenue, it affects companies and individuals working in the home building industry. These newer homes bring people to our area for jobs, and the newer homes are often much more sustainable and energy efficient than older homes. While the legislation claims it will add a huge sum to build affordable housing, I do believe you will find less infill building will occur, and that is where much of our affordable housing is needed, close to transportation. The industry is facing increased costs from possible tariffs, uncertainty in the market so that people are worried about whether they should build or not and stay where they are, and possible labor shortages. Many of you know I am very involved with Habitat for Humanity of Metro Maryland and other organizations, but I understand the need for decent and affordable housing. I do not believe the demolition tax is the way to create more affordable housing in our county. It seems to be one more way to make it less affordable. Thank you.
Ms. Aaron?
Good afternoon, Council President Stewart, Vice President Joando, and members of the Council. My name is Aidan Aaron. I'm a policy analyst at CASA, and I'm here on behalf of CASA in strong support of Bill 525, the demolition tax of affordable housing production. The housing landscape in Montgomery County shows significant disparities in access and affordability, especially for Black and Brown immigrants and working class families. While the county has taken steps to address the housing affordability crisis, such as by implementing rent stabilization to protect renters from rent hikes and providing housing resources to help people stay housed, it's no secret that it's become difficult to rent in this county, let alone own a home. As housing prices continue to rise and gentrification grows, the demolition of single-family homes to make way for larger, bigger, and more expensive homes is hindering the development of affordable housing for working-class families. This is especially concerning for the nearly 42,000 CASA members in Montgomery County who are in desperate need of more affordable housing options. For many of our CASA members, including those who work multiple jobs to make ends meet, the threat of displacement is a constant worry. Members like Maria, a lifelong Montgomery County resident who has lived in the White Oak neighborhood for over 25 years. As a single mother of 2 college-age children, Maria struggles to keep up with the rising costs of housing and inflation. Her dream of home ownership or even staying in an affordable unit seems further out of reach with each passing year. For many of our senior members who live on fixed incomes, the threat of displacement can be devastating. With fewer affordable housing options available, our seniors are being forced to leave communities they've built and the homes they've lived in for decades. Bill 5-25 is critical to prevent new development from driving up costs without creating affordable housing options. It protects our communities from housing instability and displacement. For these reasons, CASA urges the Council to support Bill 525. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm just checking if Miss Ebony Cox is here yet. We can leave this public hearing open as we go through the others if she gets here later. So we'll just hold this public hearing open, but move on to our next item, which is item 14, and a public hearing on sectional map amendment H-153 to implement the approved and adopted 2024 Great Seneca Plan Connecting Life and Science. The SMA was filed on November 4th, 2024 by the Montgomery County Planning Board to implement the specific zoning recommendations of the 2024 Great Seneca Plan. Council action is tentatively scheduled for March 25th, 2025. Those wishing to submit materials for council consideration should do so by the close of business today. As a reminder of our public hearing testimony guidelines, your comments must be limited to issues relevant to the public hearing topic for which you are testifying and are appropriate for a public meeting. You will hear a tone when your time is up, and we appreciate everyone abiding by their allotted time. We have one speaker signed up for this item this afternoon, Jack Goodman. Jake, I'm sorry. I read it too. Jake Goodman, sorry. Mr. Goodman? Okay. All right, not seeing Mr. Goodman here. We will now close this public hearing. And I just want to acknowledge that we have students here from the University of Shady Grove, the student council president, and student members of the Macklin Center. Thank you for coming and being with us today, and for your director for joining us. We're glad that you're spending your spring break with us today. Thank you very much. All right, we'll move on to item 15, which is a public hearing on 2024 Police Statistical Data Report as required by Bill 45-20, Police, Community Policing Data. A Public Safety Committee work session will be scheduled at a later date. Those wishing to submit material for the Council's consideration should do so by the close of business on March 27th, 2025. As a reminder of our public hearing testimony guidelines, your comments must be limited to issues relevant to the public hearing topic for which you are testifying and are appropriate for a public meeting. You will hear a tone when your name is up, and we appreciate everyone abiding by their allotted time. We have one speaker signed up for this, Mr. Robert Landu. Can you come to the table, press the microphone to turn it on, and you can start whenever you're ready.
Good afternoon, President Stewart, Vice President Juando, and council members. My name is Rob Landau. You may, some of you may know me from speaking about the Silver Spring Justice Coalition. Today I'm speaking on my own behalf because Silver Spring Justice has not had an opportunity to completely vet the testimony that I submitted to you last night. We have looked at the last 3 years of MCPD data, 22, 23, and 24, and tried to provide some greater context for you to examine that information. I'll just mention some concerns that we have that surface as a result of the data. Calls for service related to substance abuse and mental health remain stubbornly high, though there's no data about the number of times that a mobile crisis outreach team, or MCOT, has responded to these calls, and there has been some requirements in the statute, in the county statute about that we haven't seen in the report. Also, officer overtime is dramatically and disturbingly increasing, raising the risk of exhausted officers and mistakes. As I alluded to before, there are many requirements in County Law 35-6A which are not included in this statistical report. And I hope that the council will ask MCPD for further explanation and further detail about where is the missing information and why is it not in the report, or a link that's in the report that could be examined in greater detail. Another point that we have been working on, and I think is furtherance of the county statute that you enacted is that we've been trying to reconcile MCPD data between the reports and Data Montgomery, and we found that the data cannot be reconciled. To that end, I want to compliment Assistant Chief Frank, who's met with several SSJC members to discuss some of these issues. The discussions have led to some clarification and some additional commitments by MCPD. I'll also want to mention the training problem that was supposed to be elucidated by the county statute. MCPD has repeatedly touted how much time and effort it spends on training recruits on de-escalation. But the problem persists that the neighborhood patrol officers are in the greatest need. We've seen that numerous cases when police have unnecessarily shot and killed black men who have mental health crises. But we also saw that police have been able to save lives, and specifically the life of an officer who seems to have been suicidal. And yet, de-escalation is required by county and state law, and we still see situations where de-escalation is shortchanged and lives are cut short
Mr.
by
Lino.
officers who recklessly endanger themselves and others.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
Thank you
very
very much for your testimony. Thank you for sharing. That is all that we had signed up for that public hearing. That public hearing is now closed. Moving on to item 16 is a public hearing and action on a resolution to approve supplemental appropriation 25-44 to the FY25 operating budget, Montgomery County Government Department of Police, Federal Bureau of Justice Assistance, FY24 Matthew Shepard and James Burr Jr. Hate Crimes Program Award and $2 million. The source of funds is federal grant. Council action is scheduled immediately following this hearing. There are no registered speakers for this hearing. The public hearing is now closed. We will now move to action portion on this item. Is there a movement to approve supplemental appropriation 25-44?
So moved.
Councilmember Lukey moved. Councilmember Balcom second. Not seeing anyone wishing to speak to this item. All those in favor, please raise your hand. And that is everyone present on the dais. So that is moved and voted on. Action taken. Next, we have item 17 is a public hearing and action on a resolution to approve supplemental appropriation 25-56 to the FY25 operating budget, Montgomery County Government Department of Health and Human Services Continuum of Care Program in the amount of $493,095. The source of funds is a federal grant. Council action is scheduled immediately following this hearing. There are no registered speakers for this hearing. The public hearing is now closed. We will now move to action portion on this item. Is there a motion to approve supplemental appropriation 25-56?
So moved.
Councilmember Albanaz moved. Councilmember Couts seconded. All those in favor, please raise your hand. And that is everyone present on the dais. Moving on to item 18. This is a public hearing and action on a resolution to approve supplemental appropriation 25-57 to the FY25 capital budget, Montgomery County Government, Department of Technology and Enterprise Business Solutions, Montgomery County Digital Equity, number P341700, Maryland Department of Housing and Community Development Home Stretch Public Housing Grant, in the amount of $4,629,208. The source of funds is federal aid. Council action is scheduled immediately following this hearing. There are no registered speakers for this hearing. This public hearing is now closed. We will now move on to action portion of this item. Is there a motion to approve supplemental appropriation 25-57?
So moved.
Councilmember Natalie Fanny Gonzalez moved. Councilmember Lukey second. All those in favor of the resolution, please raise your hand. That is everyone present on the dais. Moving on now to item number 19 is a public hearing and action on a resolution to approve an amendment to FY25-30 Capital Improvements Program and Special Appropriation 25-59 to the FY25 capital budget, Montgomery County Department of Technology and Enterprise Business Solutions, Digital Equity Montgomery Connects Project, number 341700, in the amount of $960,998. The source of funds is federal aid. Council action is scheduled immediately following this hearing. No registered speakers for this hearing. The public hearing is now closed. We will now move on to action portion of this item. Is there a motion to approve supplemental appropriation 25-59? Council Vice President Will Joando moves. Councilmember Balcom second. All those in favor, please raise your hand. And that is everyone present on the dais. That is all the public hearings we have. I'll do one more call for Ms. Ebony Cox. Unfortunately, she is not there. She can submit her written testimony. We appreciate everyone who did testify so far on Bill 5-25, demolition tax for affordable housing production. That public hearing is now closed. We are now done and adjourned for this afternoon. Again, thank you to our visitors who are here and all members of the public who are here to provide testimony. Thank you very much.